Welcome to my channel. My name is Kepper, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, like, share the video. Today is going to be a really important video, and I've really been thinking about it over the last few weeks as we go into this part of the cycle. And it's important because at this particular point in the cycle, this can be a make or break for the immediate to long-term future. Our actions in these next 6 to 8 weeks. So why is that? Why is what we do over the next 6 to 8 weeks can be a make or break for us? Well, if we look at the cycle, the yearly cycle, our sun cycle, we are moving into the weakest time of the year. We can look outside and we can examine nature and how we can see the trees and we can see the foliage and all of the grass and everything start to change. And basically what's happening is that nature is really preparing itself for its winter sleep. And that's really powerful because that allows when we roll into spring, when it sprouts back out of the earth, it really sprouts with like a vigor, with an energy. And that's how we really want to be in sync with that. We want to come into next year with that spring, with that vigor. But we can only do that if we get a proper rest, a proper sleep. If we're in sync and we're in tune with that. That's why over the next 6 to 8 weeks, if we do the things that invite us in terms of our social traditions, our family practices that we have been indoctrinated to do, then this is really an undoing of being in sync with our natural cycle. This time of the year, if we looked at it as a 24-hour cycle, and I think I've done this analogy a few times, but it bears repeating because it really gives us a real clue and a real understanding of where we're at. So I like to, this is the first week of November 2018. So if I had to put this week on a 24-hour clock, I would say this is the equivalent of, let's say, around 8-9 p.m. Maybe even 10 p.m. since we're in the 11th month. So if we divide it, since we have 24 hours in a day, we have 12 months in the year, then this would put us, I guess, somewhere around 9-10 o'clock p.m. Okay, and I come up with 9 p.m. because I am aligning midnight with the winter solstice. So you guys can do the math, but that's actually something that I'll probably actually document in like my next book, because I think it's really important. It's really in sync and really in tune, because really the next morning will really align with, let's say, 6 a.m. would be equivalent to the spring equinox. So yeah, I think that you can get the picture. So yeah, we're about maybe, let's say, 9 p.m. And so at 9 p.m., the last thing we really need to be doing is overindulging in strong food, strong drink, and really expending a lot of energy. we've had the greater part of the day in front of us, just like we've had the greater part of this year in front of us. And really, this is the time to be more reflective. It's time to dial back, as nature is doing. As we can look at the trees and see what they're doing, we take a cue from that and align our energy and our activity with the trees that we see outside. And if we do that, then now we become really in tune and really in sync. As nature begins to wane, as the sun is waning, then what happens is that now our organs become revitalized. We really start to, I think, extend the lifespan. Where if we did just the opposite, we would be quickening the lifespan. And it's not necessarily about living longer per se, but it is about if we are doing things that go against our lifespan, then we're naturally going to make life more painful. We're naturally going to be able to allow things and allow major illnesses to take place. Terminal illnesses to take place. I was just speaking with a client who I did a consultation for, and part of the inspiration by her coming to see me was obviously her making a dietary change, but a close friend of hers had just died of, having diabetes and basically her body just being shut down, and this person dying, and this person was not even 50 years old. I don't think they were even barely 40 years old. I think they might have even been in their 30s. So again, they were in an early part of their life. There's no reason why, at 30, 40, 50 years old, where we should not be able to do the things mentally, physically, and otherwise that we were able to do when we were 18. But because if we look at this thing cyclically, and especially we look at periods in the cycle, again, the 24-hour cycle, because that happens to us very frequently, we can very much identify. But because this, the year is a longer cycle, and we don't bring the same sort of understanding and align our activity and our energy in the same way that we do in a 24-hour cycle. So if I knew I had a big day the day following, the most important thing I could do is obviously get a good night's sleep, and hopefully go to sleep a few hours before 12 midnight. We're at that time now in the yearly cycle. So if we're overindulging in strong food, strong drink, addictive food, addictive drink in this cycle, it's almost like, again, doing these things in a 24-hour cycle in a late night hour, and then expecting us to be strong and vital for the day following, which again will not be the case, especially as we get older. So what ends up happening is now, especially for people who say, well, I never get sick, I feel good, I eat pretty good. And the thing is that I can make a solid argument that the person that gets ill more frequently than the person that says they never get sick is healthier. The person that gets sick more frequently. And why can I say that? Well, I liken it to a volcano. And if a volcano doesn't have anywhere to access its heat, that energy is going to boil up and it's just going to explode. And that's just like the toxins in our body, because no matter how clean or how good you eat, the body is going to build up residue. It's going to, what I like to call residue, what a lot of people like to call toxins. I don't necessarily like to call them toxins because they serve a purpose. They serve a function. And that function is to fast. Because when we fast, now we feed on those residues. We feed on those toxins. And by doing that, it really creates a win-win scenario for the body. Now, if we never fast, then those residues build up into stronger toxins. And those stronger toxins can evolve into things like tumors. So it all begins there. It all begins with understanding the body, how it works. No matter what you eat, the body's going to hold on. Unless it's like water, fresh fruit, things of that nature. Those things are highly eliminated foods. They really run through the body. And those are also detoxifying foods. Your high moisture fruits and your water and your juices. But if you're eating anything that is more protein, fat, starch, etc., the body intelligently holds on to some of that. Why does it do that? Well, because again, in this season, a season like this, if we were really in tune with the land and we're living off the land and we're responsible for harvesting our food and not getting it shipped from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, this would be harvest season, and we would have to ration what we harvest until we make it to spring. And this is a great thing, because now the body gets a chance. Because the thing is, like, now, if you have to eat less, you have to use less energy, so you're not as hungry, which is a good thing. Your body gets to use the residue that is built up as fuel. So now those toxins that have built up in the body, that actually becomes food. This is a perfect design. And so it's so critical now, because in this season, in this cycle, it's going to be important to sleep more, eat less, fast, and just be more internal. Reflect on the year that we had. Basically, for all intents and purposes, it's just like in a 24-hour day. When you go to sleep, even though the day technically is not over, that day is over for you. And we could say the same thing about this year. This year is over. This is not necessarily the time to really begin a new project or really expend a lot of energy per se. It's really a time to reflect on the year that we just had and to say, like, you know what? Let me start thinking about 2019. Let me align my energy right now and reflect, rest, rejuvenate. So now when it arrives, just like spring will spring out of the earth, and all of the buds and the trees begin to sprout really strong, our energy is aligned with that. But it can only be aligned with that if we practice the discipline of not so much following. I mean, because the thing is like, okay, we have family, we have friends, loved ones, spouses, etc. And they more or less may not be in tune like you may be in tune that's watching this video. So the thing is like, we can always find a compromise. And And then, I think we also have to take the mindset that we can inspire our friends, family, and loved ones to do better. So, with all that being said, I am challenging you, inspiring you to do better this holiday season, to really, again, fast more, sleep more, do less. That's the thing what they say now. Say less, And so, with that said, I'm going to be offering my package, my DVD course. This is a 6 DVD course. You can see it with the light right here. I'll be offering this at a discounted price from now to the end of this year. The companion book as well. Each one of these separately, this is $50. This is $14. So I'm thinking about a price. It'll be at least 20% off, probably not more than 50% off together. So I'm really excited. While supplies last, I have a number of copies left. And when I finish this video, I'll update the website so you can order your copy and have just some tools to help you do better this holiday season. Like I said, it's going to be about, because the book is going to be more about giving you the information to detox. It's got some juice recipes. In this season, with December, I usually do my personal longer fast, where it's at least 10 days, 10 to 14 days. I've done upwards to 21 days in December. And it's aligned with, again, and that's purposeful because, well, one, I will usually, my appetite will start to wane around, definitely by going into that second week of December. And so by that second week of December, again, food just won't taste the same. It won't go down the same. It doesn't process the same. If I continue to eat it, because the food is not being processed the same way. It's not being processed as effectively, as efficiently as if, let's say, we were in March, or in April, or May, where again the cycle is the sun is waxing, and the energy is building, and so the energy is strong, and our digestive system is strong. So again, people are doing just the opposite of what they should be doing, and this is the whole reason why this is the flu season. It's very simple. Flu is just a detox response, or again, I want to say an over accumulation of residue, and because you have an over accumulation of residues that's built up from all of the strong food, the strong drink, the strong starch that you've been eating, the way that the body can bring balance is to create flu-like symptoms, to create pathways so that the body can deal with these toxins. That's what the body is doing. But we want to take vaccines, which don't work. We want to take things that ease the symptoms, but never really address the issue. And the issue is that the body wants to feed off this. The body wants to force you. Well, it will force you to stop eating so it can feed on these things, so it can bring balance, and it brings harmony, and it brings sensitivity. And the more sensitive you become, the more in tune you begin to align yourself with the natural cycle. And the more in tune you become with the natural cycle, then you obviously become very harmonious, not just with your health, but just with your life in general. Now everything becomes more fluid. and more in sync. So again, I have the package. You can go on my website, chefkepper.com, hempburger.love. That's the new website. Same website, but new name for the website. If you're local, we're having our 7-year. It's a 2-part. It's a 7-year anniversary, but it's also going to be grand opening for our new location, which is going to be basically right next door, 408 8th Street. And if you want to come, like, learn from me, learn how to, like, chef and, you know, really do this lifestyle the way it should be done, please consider joining my retreat next year, February 6th to the 13th. I will have the details also posted on my website. I do at least 1 to 2 classes a day. We do coconut water fasting. We also, you know, massage is included. And we do it in the best, we eat the best food, some of the local grown food there in Jamaica. The best location, or one of the best locations, in the best way. You know, the raw, sun-fired way, to adopt the moniker from my teacher, Aris Latham. Shout out to him. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, tick the notification bell. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. I wish you all the best for this season and this cycle. And one love. I'm out.